Good afternoon. I'm Paul Fagan with the McCain Institute for International Leadership, part of Arizona State University. And today, I'm here to welcome Grace Jo from NK in USA, which is the North Korean human rights organization based here in the United States. Again, my name is Paul Fagan, and I run our human rights and democracy programs here at the Institute. We want to say thank you again for joining us today, Grace, and talking a little bit about North Korea. As we know, it's been in the news quite a bit over the past year. So we'd love first to tell a little bit about who you are, what you represent, and why you're here in the United States.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me to this Arizona University Institute. It's my pleasure, and it's very honored to hear that a lot of politicians and the decision-making leaders who are meeting here and talk about the important topics. And today, I'm representing North Korean refugees. I'm hoping my voice can raise human rights issues around the United States. Well, as you mentioned earlier, North Korean human rights issues has been talked about in the USA for many years these days, but I think we still needed to think about and hear more about what is North Korean human rights and what's really happening in North Korea. So today I came here to tell a little bit about my family story and my personal story, and hopefully audience can understand a little bit about more realities from North Korea.
And you've been in the United States for about 10 years, correct?
Yes, yes.
Previous you were in China, but before that, obviously, you were in North Korea, you grew up there, but it sounded like you had a very difficult upbringing there.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and then how you came to the United States?
Sure. So I was born in 1991, and I came to China when I was 7 years old. That was 1998. Before my mom took me to China, I had my maternal grandmother, father, and four other siblings, but they all passed away. Some of them passed away because of starvation, because of the law enforcement. So the big family just broke up apart in very short time period. And then my mother, she decided to take remaining children with her to China because she thought if we live in China, if we continually living in North Korea, we will die too. So that's why we came to China. And during 10 years in China, we tried very hard to resettle in China and work hard and live there as a part of Chinese citizens. However, Chinese government never allowed us and never considered us as legal refugees in China. So we got caught many times, and my family sent back to North Korea 4 times. And each time, of course, we will get torture, interviews, and we have to struggle. But luckily, didn't die. We survived again and again, and we came to China back in 2006, and we claimed as refugees through UN, and then UN helped my family to come to United States. And one of a Korean American missionary, his name is Philip Buck, he helped my family, and he worked with the human rights groups in DC area, and all those group of people helped us with the UN HCR and gave us a legal refugee status. So back in 2008 March, we flew to US directly from China before the Chinese Olympic game. So that's how we came to America. And after we came to America, it's exactly 10 years. It's almost 10 years now. Yes. So after I came here, I attended high school, and for 5 years I studied in high school, and now I'm in college. And back in 2011, my sister found an organization called NK USA. So I joined that organization back in 2015 and trying to spread a word as part of former North Korean refugees. So that's why I'm here today.
Why is it important to you to continue to talk out and speak out for human rights in North Korea? You could easily settle here in the United States and live an American life, but why is it important to you to raise these issues now?
Personally, sometimes I do think after I came to America, I should leave as an American citizen and pursue my education and success in America as an American citizen and reach American dream. But every moment when I invited and go to the event and then tell my story, I feel like it's very important because not many North Koreans who survived and came to this free country and willing to raise their voice. It's not because they don't want to. It's because of their family security reasons in North Korea. And but my family, all of them, they passed away, and I am not afraid about North Korean regime might harm my family or my relatives. So this is very good opportunity for me to raise my voice for other North Koreans. I saw a lot of them, they were suffering, they got beaten, they got like strongly abused, and they also starved. And I saw all those little kids that were starving and forcefully working in the public farm and environment too. So when I think about them, I cannot just live my life here freely by myself. I should do something if I can. But of course, like travel somewhere to raise my voice, telling my story, it's not harming me. And North Korea will not send anybody to threaten my life. So I feel like America is a very secure place for me. Because of that, I can travel and telling my story. So human rights is very important to me because children, elders, women, and men, they all still start starving, and they still getting tortures from soldiers, from the government. They're dying there. So it's very important for me to telling people around the world and let them know still modern Holocaust is going on in North Korea.
You briefly mentioned when you came here, it was in 2008, right before the Beijing Olympics, which brings to mind the Olympics, the Winter Olympics in South Korea this year. I don't know if you were able to see the opening ceremony and the North Korean and South Korean athletes marching together, and this push, at this Olympics to do more together, signaling, a closer relationship between North and South. Couple of questions. One, do you think this is a real push for more unification talks amongst the North and South? And how does that make you feel? Do you think the North and the South could actually be unified in your lifetime?
I really wish to see that, but North Korea sent athletes and joined with the South Korean athletes in an Olympic game. I don't think it means a lot toward unification. It's because both countries' goal regarding unification is very different. And North Korean government, they already built their military power, nuclear power, and they have everything prepared for themselves. So at this moment, if someone asks me, is this unification can happen in my lifetime? I don't really sure, but I think it's a pros and cons. I think it's some part of point of view, it's something is changing, but in deeper area, I think it's still very difficult unless North Korean dictatorship falls. If I think the main result will be whether North Korean regime control South Korean government, or South Korean government control North Korean government. But without the war, without the military actual power, is that gonna be possible? So I don't think that's possible with the peaceful reunification at this point.
And what do you think the United States, the international community, can do to raise the issue of human rights more?
I think this is a very big topic for me, but I think using military power only it's gonna be killing a lot of people from North Korea, and of course I don't want to see that. But with the giving North Korean government whatever they want, that's not solving problem. So I'm still thinking every day like what will be the solution. But I think at some point in the middle, there's a Chinese government always there. So if Chinese government can participate in this project and working with the U.S. government and South Korean government, they might possible to stop North Korean regime, because North Korea is attached to China, and China is always afraid about North Korean government got hit by other country, and then their border is not secure. So if they worry about their security, then why they don't just take over North Korean regime and say, well, your regime is so cruel and it's not meet international law, you should stop this, and then completely change their policy or regulation. So then it might be peaceful and it might not kill many people as we think. Maybe Chinese government may have some answer to that. I'm thinking about that right now. Yeah.
You raise a lot of very important and relevant questions right now. My last question is, or comment, you're an inspiration, I think, to me, to so many people in the international human rights world. You're young, you're going to college, you've taken this leadership role on, which is very difficult. I mean, the North Korea issue it's huge. And to be young like yourself and talking out about it is very important. But in your life, who are some of your mentors? Who has inspired you to do what you're doing now?
The person who I respect a lot, his name is Kim Seung-min. He runs a radio program in South Korea. It's sending South Korean cultural events and a lot of news into North Korea, and then North Korean citizens know what's outside of the world looks like, and it's telling them like you have been lied by the government. So we heard a lot of North Korean citizens actually heard of that radio program and came to South Korea, and the way he works and the way he treats their own like our own brothers and sisters, I like him a lot because he's very smart and he has a love toward to his people. And he has cancer right now, so he's fighting with the cancer in South Korea right now. But even though he has a family in North Korea, even though he has difficulties facing every day in South Korea, he never gave up and he still fight for it. So I really respect him a lot. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. It's very meaningful. Thank you so much for joining us today. And as we conclude, I just want to remind our viewers on February 28th, and I hope, Grace, you'll be able to join us as well. February 28th at 6 p.m., the McCain Institute is going to be hosting a debate on this issue of North Korea. They'll be at 6 p.m. at the U.S. Naval Memorial here in Washington, D.C. So thanks again for joining us today. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on North Korea. And, again, you're an inspiration to all of us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.